The reason why, no, go ahead. I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish.
Everybody needs therapy. Like my life has improved immensely since starting therapy, like basically 2 months ago. Um, and I've been in therapy before this instance. I went back to the same people that I was in therapy with. And honestly, it's so nice because my therapist is somebody who's like me and understands my positions on things and like doesn't ever say anything discouraging or like
So
counteractive.
they're doing their job.
Yeah, obviously they're doing their job, but I'm trying to say it without being like, yeah, like my shit's crazy and they help.
Oh my
But
gosh.
like my shit's crazy and they help.
So when you had brought this up originally, and for one, congratulations on going to therapy and it working for you and everything. Like that's not sarcastic at
Yeah,
all.
no,
If anyone
I
thinks that.
understand.
But when you put this on here, I do think it's funny because I read a article, and usually when I read stuff, I do like try to see if I can never catch it if it happens in my real life, But they were talking about how like when people tell you to go to therapy, that's also a really shitty thing to say to anyone. Like as a regular person, you should never be telling other people like
they need help.
Yeah, like you should
Well,
go to. I mean, no.
Yeah.
So the situation we're using is like when it happens a lot when people are dating, right? Like so, one person, they'll have an issue with the other person, which might not necessarily be like
Their
something
issue.
you need something that person needs to go to therapy for.
Yeah.
But the partner might feel that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, if they ever argue around that subject, the first thing the partner will be like is, this is why you should go to therapy because you got some stuff to figure out.
That's
and,
fair.
and they broke it down just how like especially like recently because therapy is becoming a lot more normalized and there's a lot less stigma around it. People are really quick to do like like the whole like people are really quick to be like, oh, you need to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Like people are really quick to be like, oh, what? Like this is what you're dealing with? Like, like self-diagnose and like diagnosing people over TikTok videos and doing all that.
Yeah.
So the article was really interesting because again, it just was like now, yes, people are a lot more open to getting help, but a lot of people around them were like, now, oh yeah, like what? You didn't drink enough water? Maybe therapy would help and da 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 and stuff
yeah.
like that. So I thought it was funny that you brought this up, because again, the article came back in mind, and I did go down a rabbit hole on TikTok of like watching these people who like try to tell you like the signs to watch for that therapists can help, or signs to watch for that you're depressed and this and this and that, and like you look into this background of these people. Some of them like just graduated high school. Like, what do you know about
God.
like how could you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
I
stuff like
understand.
that. But I've also gone to therapy, and I also think it works. I also think it does have a lot of benefits, and you should find the right one for you. Because I think I went through like 3 or 4 before I found one that I was like, okay, I can actually talk to.
Yeah.
First time I tried to go to therapy and do all that, the guy was like, doesn't really sound like you have any problems. I'm not really sure why you're here. And I remember thinking, I was like, you're bad at your job. One, like you're just
Yeah.
bad at your job. And two, that's when I realized that like, again, you also can't look at therapy like you see in the movies.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in some serious cases, if you're dealing with this, because in the movies they be dealing with some dark shit.
Yeah.
They be dealing with some like, hey, I just went into my house and there's a 13-year-old ghost. I need help.
Yeah.
But in real life, like, that's not really how it is at all. And that's when I was like, okay, like I can't come here expecting this guy to, or person or whoever to like break me down and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like they do in the movies. It's a lot more of a draining conversation and everything else like that. But you got to find a person that makes it work for you.
Yeah.
But What do you think? Who was the last person you told they needed to go to therapy?
So here's the thing. I have a very specific stance on telling people to go to therapy or not. I don't normally tell people to go to therapy as a reaction to anything. So, like, I just feel that everyone I should probably have rephrased this topic as build safe spaces for yourself.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't necessarily have to be therapy. That's just where my safest space happens to be.
Yeah.
And so it's important to build a safe space for yourself, or if you can't build it, then to have somebody to help you manage it.
So you're saying therapy doesn't necessarily have to be you sitting down with somebody with a notebook and a pencil?
No, it doesn't actually.
Because I agree with that 100%.
It's a lot like meditation, right? Like meditation doesn't necessarily have to be you sitting in a specific formation and like staring at a like emptiness between 2 points and like all this stuff. But like you can go for a walk, and that's meditation. Like, in whatever method that you choose to meditate on life is your method of meditation. Like, there's an entire segment of meditative science about movement meditation. That's what yoga is like founded on. And so, yeah, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be talking to somebody. You should definitely have someone to talk to, whether it's your friends, whether it's a professional. Like, definitely talk to somebody. But it doesn't have to be, like you said, like movie therapy.
I don't know why I just did that.
It was nice.
Hey. No, I agree. And again, that's something that people, again, just be mindful of. Don't just be telling people to go to therapy, because let that person, and I do think you should address whatever issue you have. I'm not going to call them issues.
Yeah.
You should address whatever you got going on.
Yeah.
Always.
And here's another thing is that, like, telling people to go to therapy in an aggressive manner like that is more than likely going to keep them away from it.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's...
And not only that, it's probably rooted... Here I am, like, starting to psychologize on it. It's probably rooted in another problem. Like, you can't... Stop projecting.
Yeah, no. Oh, man.
That's another topic.
Because my friend and I were also talking about, like, projection and how that's, like, ended some friendships over, the years and stuff. But like you said, that's another topic. Because with that, it's a first commercial break.
Yeah.
I was, you know what? We're going to talk about,
we already went over that.
We'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
It's lit.